Races and Fun has returned, and this time with a giant pool. Hi everybody, Brendan here, bringing you coverage of Races and Fun. Today another 1v1 team-style matchup today. Two groups of vehicles lined up and warming up, starting their engines as they're about to head through a harrowing track with a bunch of obstacles. And with them, Lamborghini going up against Mustangs here. You can see both of the teams out there and ready, and we'll get started quickly. Mustang and the Roadster. Roadster, that green car on the near side, already losing a bunch of speed. Look at that. Roadster may not even make it out of the first curve. He will barely make it, but that's not going to matter at all. And if he even makes it, there he goes. Drops right into the pool. And that's the dirty outcome of this race. The first place finisher will drop the contestant right behind, right into that pool. And he will then coast to victory. I guess if they cross at the same time, it will be an all-out battle at the end, but not with that first race. Lamborghini Aventador and another Mustang. Here they go. Rolling around the first couple curves, heading to the end, and he will get over that dropped flag. Not fall into the water, and they'll have to end things here on the dark track. The Lamborghini, that white car, already way out in front, and he will take the win. But luckily, both cars avoided any wet tires. Mustang GT and the Lamborghini Veneo dropping back early, now 2 car lengths behind, having trouble with these 180-degree curves. He may drop into the water here. The switch has been flipped on the track, and there he goes, right into the drink. And now it will be up to the Mustang to finish out the race accordingly. Look at him drop there, all tires up and all wet. Mustang rolls around, goes a little sideways, but straightens out and crosses the finish line with no problem. Lamborghini Huracan and the Mustang GT, this time a black one. Mustang on the near side falling back. Lamborghinis have a chance to maybe rebound here and take this race. The two 180s that were not good for the Lamborghini. The Mustang cannot get across either. Flips out, loses some control, but luckily ends up on the dark track and out in front. Lamborghini going backwards as well as they head around the 180. Both cars will not have a easy road through this track, but the Lamborghini will not win. Mustang comes out on top once more. Mustang and the Aventador J, that green car, looking nice, looking sporty, but how about looking fast? These Lamborghinis need to come back here, slower than the Mustang again, and there's the water. Mustang cruises on past the lip there as they head onto the darker track, and will roll to the finish line, hopefully no problem. Here's the 180, takes it smooth, sideways a little bit. Will he get across? He will not straighten out and not get across, but they might give him the win anyway. We got the Super Snake and the Murcielago, who is not doing well out of the gates. Super Snake in the lead, flips the track, down the dark part, and the Lamborghinis again with the struggle. Right into the drink there. See the shark circling his prey, all tires up there on the bottom of the pool. And the Mustang will roll easily to the victory, no problem. Mustang, a blue one this time, convertible, and a Countach Lamborghini. Countach now with some speed out of the gate, but can he hold on to it? Slows down through the 180, and the Mustangs again back on top. Will he have any luck getting over this piece of track? He will not, and it is water again. The whole Lamborghini team is taking a bath today. Dropping in right past the shark, and again landing tires up. And the Mustang wiggles his way through that transition in the track, skids around the 180, and coasts to victory, backwards, but all intact. Mustang convertible and the Lamborghini Countach again. This time it's red. And on the far side, seems the speeds of these two cars are even. Will they both get to the end here? Lamborghini again falls short by a fraction, but still a fraction that turned his dry racing into a wet day. Mustangs, the only 8 cars left here. We head to the next round. Ford Mustang and Mustang Convertible. Both of them are convertibles, actually. And we see the Ford Mustang here on the near side, that orange car, getting off to a lot slower start than that other convertible, who flips over into the water, and that's going to be it. Got a replay look at that, and that was not lucky at all. That convertible had the lead and was going strong. We don't even see him in the vantage point there, way to the side of the pool. And the Ford Mustang, even though slower, more controlled, and will cross the line with no problem. Ford Mustang, a darker blue one, and the Shelby Super Snake up there against it. Snake out into an early lead right out of the gate. You saw the speed from the Snake, and he's going strong. How will he do across the transition track? Slow, but in front, dropping that blue Mustang into the water, no problem. But will he finish the course? He doesn't have much speed, and will have to gain it all here from the hill. You see how slow he was coming out of that transition piece. He heads down the hill, rounds the 180, stays straight, goes a little sideways, but has the railing to help him out. And he'll cross and take that win. 15 Ford Mustang and an 05 Ford Mustang, black and yellow respectively, heading out into the track and with similar speeds. Will they both cross the track this time? They will, but the yellow Mustang much slower to cross. No cars will fall into the range of the shark, and it will be the final track to pick it up. Black Mustang out into a very good lead right now. It's going to be about control. He slips around, but he's able to get control and finish backwards. And he will run away with this race easily. 65 Ford Mustang and the 15 Ford Mustang, that red car on the far side, out into the lead by a hair through the first couple of turns. Now to the split track transition, and there goes the 65 into the drink with the shark. Tires down this time, had a little bit more control. That's something we don't usually see from the losing cars. And now we got the red Mustang here going backwards, but going fast. And he'll cross the line with little to no difficulties. 4 cars left to go here. Into the semifinals we roll. And it will be the Ford Mustang 18 and the Ford Mustang 15. Remember, the Ford Mustang 18 slow last time, and again slow now, but he got some help as the convertible Mustang flipped over into the water by his own accord. A little bit of a car pun there. And the Ford Mustang will now follow the inevitable, not fast enough, and that black Mustang will be the victor as long as he can finish the course here. Rolls around, goes sideways, straightens out. He's slow, but he is past that line, and he'll be all right. Shelby Super Snake and the Ford Mustang. This time the 15, it is a red car, but the Super Snake, you can see the speed in that car already, out into a lead, no problem. He's going to flip that track down, and there goes the red Mustang. A good attempt, but the Super Snake is super fast. He whips around the curve there, goes sideways, and skids over the line. No problems. Into the finals we go. 2 cars left. Who will be the fastest today? And who will have the most control? Because we've seen today a couple times where control won the race. Super Snake and the 15 Ford Mustang, this time the black one. And we see the Super Snake on the far side out to a lead, but the 15 Ford Mustang giving him a good run for his money, and now he's out into the lead. He flips the track, and there goes the Super Snake. Into the water. He'll have another chance, but he'll have to do it with wet tires. Will be a best 2 out of 3. Mustang, no problem crossing the line there. A little bit wet. Must have had some spray come up from the pool on that giant fall, and he will go to the second race here. Super Snake on the near side now, needs to take this one if he's going to push it to a third race, but it's not going to happen. You can see it right there, falling right into the pool. And he'll end wet twice. Could not stay out of the water in this finals. And we'll take a look at, in essence, the victory lap here from the black 15 Ford Mustang. He will round the 180. He will skid a little. He'll go sideways, and his victory lap is a little bit janky, but he'll get across going backwards and cruise to the victory. And there you have it. Ford Mustang 15, the winner. Lamborghini's absolutely destroyed by the Mustangs, and we will see you in the next video of Races and Fun. Check out the Carreras Extremas second channel for Races and Fun, now with commentary in Spanish, bringing you that cultural diversity in the channel. McLaren and Camaros will be the teams today. Camaro and McLaren to get things started here. Camaro, the lighter green car. McLaren on the far side, the darker car. And they'll head to that shark pool. Both of them will avoid it. A good way to start for both of these racers. It will be empty for now, but I'm sure wet tires will find their way down into that pool later on, and the Camaro will cross way out in front, but both cars will be safe. We got this orange Camaro here on the left, and McLaren GTR on the right with a spoiler on the back. He's on the near side here as he rolls out into the lead. Through the first couple of curves we go, now to the shark pool, and there goes the Camaro. That orange car dropping right into the pool. Shifted off the left side of the track there and goes tires up. First car to do so, and all the McLaren has to do is finish the race. He struggles doing that, and he's going to come a little short. Right at the finish line, cannot get across, and they'll still give him the win, but what a disappointing way to finish. Camaro, McLaren, here we go again, except the McLaren is now white. Still a spoiler on the back. And we'll head to the pool. Camaro gets by, and the McLaren still will not fall in. He was behind, but somehow the wrong drop was triggered, or the McLaren was able to avoid it. He certainly won't win this race, but he won't have to dry off either. Camaro will speed to victory by many, many lengths. McLaren comes across in front. No problem. Camaro, McLaren, this time blue and green. The two cars are the McLaren on the near side with the spoiler, and the Camaro there just turning around right after the transition piece, but he will send the McLaren right into the drink. That green car does a 360, but will coast to victory here. He spins around again. He's going to have trouble getting over the line, but he will coast over there. A little bit of a difficult beginning for these racers today. Camaro, yellow-greenish one this time, and that darker, more tealish McLaren. They're neck and neck through the first couple of turns. Now the McLaren will get held up there at the transition piece, but will avoid the pool again. They've at least been good at avoiding the pool, though not so much as far as speed goes. The Camaro will take this one as long as he can finish and not lose any of his speed. Goes around the 180, he goes sideways, he loses some speed, but not enough to stop before the finish line. Both cars will cross the Camaro way ahead. Sorry, way ahead there. Camaro blue, McLaren red. Here we go. 720S, that McLaren. Nice, sleek-looking car. Maybe the speed will be in its favor today. Whips around the first couple of curves. Now in front by a hair, and he will send the Camaro right into the drink. That was a good move, and mercifully so for the McLarens who have struggled all day. He will bounce around in that transition piece a little bit and get out. The 180 is going to bring him to the end. He turns around and will finish backwards. Maybe a little showboating there. And it was really neck and neck up until that transition piece. Camaro, McLaren. McLaren, your lighter colored car on the far side. First couple of curves coming up here. They are neck and neck here, coming to the pool. And the McLaren will just avoid the pool. But I don't think a win is going to be in order here. As the Camaro still way out in front, smoothly taking through that transition piece. McLaren following behind many seconds later. You can see him just barely pulling out there, almost like he's in a parking lot. He'll whip around that 180 and be able to cross way behind. Camaro and McLaren, here we go, red and blue respectively. Camaro on that far side, that red car very slow as we head to these first couple of curves. Camaro still behind, and he might go into the drink, and yes, he will. Right into the pool, right in the center, tires up, almost hit the shark on the way down, and the McLarens will get a break here. Hopefully they can finish. No. Will he get across the line? Yes, he will, but I could have counted on a calendar how long that took. Camaro with 5 cars left, McLaren with 3. And we head to the second round, and things will get a little faster out there. Camaro and McLaren. This time, the McLaren with the spoiler. Darker car back out on the track and with an early lead. Started behind, but gained speed quickly. Now to the pool. Both cars. Wow! The second car, the McLaren, was in front and had the advantage, but could not hold on and actually went into the drink himself. I don't know what happened there. Maybe a failure of mechanism. But I did not see that coming. The Camaro, in second place to the transition piece, actually was the car to get across. And the Camaros have had giant strokes of luck today. McLarens have 2 cars left to try to hold on. Out in front, the McLaren on the left side, he just gets across. Drops the Camaro into the drink, and they needed it. Only 2 cars left to their name. One of them sure to hit the semifinals. He will go down the track backwards. He will skid into the wall, and he will cross the line. And good thing. McLaren here on the left side, Camaro, red and green. The 2 cars here racing now. McLaren on the near side, out by just a hair, but now the Camaro has it, and they both flip over through the transition piece, but both cars will avoid the pool, and they will actually be quite close going into the final dark part of the track as the lanes open up here. McLaren will be out in front, and they might have one more car to squib into the semifinals, evening it up in the semifinals. And there you have it. 2 cars from the McLarens will be seen in the semifinals, and it will be the battle of the Camaros to decide the remaining participants. That darker Camaro here with stripes on it on the near side, way out in front, opening that trap door, and there goes the blue Camaro as he drops into the water. Tires will go up, get all wet, and hopefully not become lunch for the shark. And with that, the darker striped Camaro will get across. Two Camaros left, 2 McLarens. Semifinals, here we come. McLaren on the left, Camaro on the right. Red versus black here. Number 78 on the black Camaro. And will he have the speed? Yes, he will. Out by a few lengths, but he will not drop the McLaren into the water, who will have a final chance to take this race as long as the Camaro messes up here in the final turn. How will he do? Both cars are pretty slow right now, around the 180. Goes sideways, straightens out though. He will cross the line and head to the finals. Camaro will at least have 1 car in the finals, but will they have 2? Blue and light green here. The McLaren, that blue car on the near side with a lot more speed out of the gate, and it might be a McLaren versus Camaro race here in the finals. He crosses the middle section, does not set off the trap door, and the green Camaro will be fine, but unless the McLaren messes up here around the 180, there will be no problems. Sending a McLaren to the finals here. They both head down the track with marginal speed around the 180. Looks like the McLaren has all the speed necessary to get across the line. And the Camaro may not cross here at all. Doesn't matter for him anyway, he's already lost, but he won't even have the decency to finish up the race. Here we go to the finals. Best 2 out of 3 will be the format of these finals, as you are used to. Camaro, number 78, the black car with the red stripe, and McLaren here on the near side, the dark blue car. Falling behind as we head through the first couple of loops here, and now it is the black Camaro to drop that blue McLaren right into the drink. And because 2 races are necessary to win the finals, that McLaren will have to come out of the water and race as a wet car. As we head to the second race of the finals, they have changed lanes, and McLaren wet but determined will round these first couple of curves. Behind though, he might get into the water again, and there he goes. Flips over to that piece of track and has no luck staying out of the water. That number 78 Camaro, who flips around and may not even get to the end here, has a little bit of speed, and he will take the overall victory as well. Congratulations to the number 78 and the Camaro team, who was able to just pull out the win here today on Races and Fun. That's going to be the end of the video, and we'll see you next time for more Hot Wheels racing. Before we begin, let me remind you, check out Carreras Extremas Diecast, the channel. That is Races and Fun, but in Spanish. If you are a Spanish speaker and want to hear Spanish commentary over your favorite Races and Fun races. Dodge and Honda are the teams today facing off. Acura Integra and the Dodge Challenger will be the two to get things going here. It will be again a 1v1 race situation, and that shark pool is going to be deadly for both racers here. One will get bounced back and still fall into the pool. Tires will go up. And that yellow car with the black double stripe over the center will just barely make his way through that transition piece alive. Acura NSX and the Challenger drift car. Acura, that yellow car on the far side, getting off to a good start, but head-to-head with the drift car through the first couple of turns. Drift car now into the lead. He flips the switch, but the transition piece will not go down and affect the Acura. He just avoids it to the left, and the Shark will remain hungry, at least for this race. The drift car way out in front, and actually drifting down the hill there, backwards and sideways, but he straightens himself out and crosses smoothly. Acura again crosses, but too little too late, and he will fall into the loser's area, but at least he's not wet. Acura Integra again, and the Challenger Demon. Acura on the near side. Challenger on the far side. He's a little bit short, and he will roll over the beam in that transition piece and fall right into the water with the Shark. He goes tires down, but that's not going to matter. He will still be wet. Integra comes over with a lot of speed, actually. And now we have the Acura NSX, a blue one, and the Challenger Demon, this time red. On the near side here, already off to a slow start, but we have the Acura Integra, the blue car, now with a commanding 3 to 4 length lead. He flips the track piece, and there goes the Challenger right down into the water. Shark circling, and he again goes tires up, knocks into the previous racer. And it will be the blue Acura to coast right to the end here. Acura Integra, this time a white camo theme, and the Charger 500. Certainly a nice jet black looking car, and he's coming out with speed through the first couple curves. He's still in front, 3 lengths now, but he hits into the barrier and is not going to be able to pass. Struggles against the transition piece right there. Comes up a little short, and he might have fallen into the water. I didn't get a good look. He went over the backside there to the left. And he might have still dropped in there. Do I see him there in the far left? Maybe. But either way, the Acura wins. Honda, that green car on the near side. And another Dodge here right in front of us. And they both will go over the transition piece, no problem. It seems like none of the traps were tripped there. And you see the Shark wide mouth there. Almost ready to catch another car, but no cars come near this time. Both cars will cross. Green behind. Hondas will not take that one. Acura Concept and the Charger R/T. We'll go with Charger and Acura here. Acura, the white car, on the near side into the lead. Will the Concept stay in the lead, though? Yes, he will, and he'll drop that Dodge right into the water. Tires up he goes. Bumped into the Shark on his way down, and the Acura Concept will easily get across. Honda Prelude and the Dodge Charger, blue and yellow, here we go. Charger on the near side, fast out of the gate, and now a half a car length ahead to the first couple of turns. Now he goes to that transition piece and just is able to drop the Acura right down in there. That Honda will not get anywhere past the water today. You can see the spray of the water going all the way out to the piece of track out here. And the Dodge will cross backwards, but intact. 4 Dodges, 4 Hondas left here as we head to the next round. Things are close here at the Pool Shark race. Acura Integra Challenger drift car. We saw the drift car very fast in the previous race, and he comes out strong yet again. Through these 180s he goes, and still going. Looks like he's way into the lead, and he will drop the Acura right in. Trips the trap right at the end. His back wheel hits the button for that, and He will go down backwards, drifting around. Look at the spray coming all the way out past this piece of track. And he will take it. Dodge Charger and the Acura NSX blue and yellow Charger on the near side. Already a car length ahead. Heading through the first couple of 180s. Still ahead. Now 4 car lengths. Trips the trap, and there goes the Acura down to the water. Is it tires up or down? Looks like tires up to me. And I don't really know if that matters, but certainly landing on your feet in any situation is a little bit of a help. And the Dodge will cross and take that race with no problem. Acura NSX concept in the Challenger drift car. Another drift car, another Acura. Who's going to have the commanding lead here? It will be the drift car by a little bit, and he will drop the Acura right in. Literally by a millimeter. You could take out a ruler and measure it. The drift car will not fall to the Sharks right here. And the Acura just barely lost out. Honestly, you race them again, you might get a different result. Acura Integra and the Challenger SRT Demon. That yellow car with the black stripes, the Integra here on the near side, that racing-looking black car, and he races well, but he cannot drop the yellow car into the water. And unless he messes up on the last track, he will win, but no cars will get wet in this instance. The Integra goes down backwards, and he's slow, but he is straight, and he will cross the line and take that win just by a little bit. We head to the semifinals. Honda 1, Dodge 3 here on Races and Fun, and semifinals are kicking off already. Integra and the drift car, 2 very commanding racers today, winning all of their races and still going. Drift car here on the near side seems to have that lead, but then loses it. Acura now flips the trap, but I think the drift car is doing everything he can to avoid the Sharks, is able to lodge himself right between the pieces of plastic and keep himself from getting wet. Must not want to get that beautiful car body all wet. That wouldn't be good, and the Integra will win, but the drift car will come away dry. Drift car in the Dodge Charger. This drift car is a little bit brighter red. Dodge Charger has also been very, very fast today, but he's not out of the gate here against the drift car, who is taking an easy lead. Look at that, 3 track lengths ahead, but he can't trip the trap, and it will be a close race in the final piece of track. Here they go down, and it will be the Dodge getting out into the lead couple car lengths and the 180. The Dodge then goes sideways. The drift car can't make up the ground. And the Dodge pulls an upset right there. Drift car running himself too fast into an unfortunate finish. And the finals are at hand here, and it's the Dodge and the Integra. 2 drift cars who were very fast could not make it into the finals, and the Acura Integra by a hair is just dropped into the water and will lose the first race, as the Dodge will roll his bright yellow self all the way to the end. Straight and true. And the Integra will have to race wet, but you saw it was a close race before, and he might have a chance here, but look at him, slow out of the gate. He must be because he's so wet and just out of energy, and there he flips the trap, and the Integra falls right in, and that will wrap up the finals as the Dodge concept rolls down the dark hill, rounds that 180, and will come to a complete stop just past the finish line. There he goes, taking that victory half of a lap, you could say. And there he rolls right into the finish line. And the Dodge will win. Dodge Challenger 71. A new set of 2 teams coming up today. It's Nissan. And they'll be 1v1 facing off against the Corvettes here on the other side. Colorful band of cars, both of them. Nissan 300 and the Corvette C7. And they'll kick things off quickly here. First race of the day, the Corvette here on the near side, falling behind now 2 lengths and going to drop right into the water. We have our first wet vehicle as he plummets to the bottom of that pool, leaving the Nissan to coast easily through the last half of this race. Oh, he does turn himself around and he goes on the railing. What is he doing? He's slow now, but he still has the speed to get over, and I mean, barely. What kind of performance was that? You had the win, and then you just mess around like that. Custom Datsun and the 20 Corvette. The Datsun on the near side, already a car length behind through the first couple of turns we go, and the Datsun has no chance of getting through that transition piece with no water on his tires, and he'll fall right into the pool as expected. No miraculous moves to avoid the gap right in front of him. And the Corvette will take this one right to the end of the track, much faster than the previous race. No messing around here through the back half. Now we got a Nissan Fairlady and the Corvette C7, another C7, this one a lighter color with a spoiler on the top, and the C7 is out to a big lead, not even into the first 180. We head to the first two 180s, and the Corvette's got it. Fairlady is going to drop into the water, tires up right near the mouth of the shark, who looks famished to say the least. And the Corvette will roll down this hill and hopefully coast to victory without messing things up too much. There he goes, bouncing off a couple rails, but maintaining good speed. Nissan Skyline and the Corvette C7R. This one a blue-styled Corvette, and the Skyline now holding with the Corvette this time, unlike some of the other Nissans, neck and neck, but the Corvette's just going to edge him out, and he'll bobble in the transition piece, falling just short of that place he needed to get to avoid the water below. Look at how close he got. He needed to get those front tires just a half of an inch further, and he might have been able to climb his way out of certain, I wouldn't say death, but more like certain wet, certain water bath. And the Corvette will cross backwards, but at least with some speed. And we got another Nissan Skyline and the Corvette Sting. Looks like this Nissan is also pretty fast, and the Corvette Sting, on the other hand, a little bit slow behind the Nissan. A full car length, the Nissan bobbles in the transition piece, barely makes it out of there with any speed, but is able to send the Corvette down into the water. It was a very stressful transition for both cars as they wiggled past that track. Corvette did not even drop into the right gap. He got boosted right off the rail backwards and flew into the back of the pool. The Skyline will cross, and here's a Nissan moving on finally. Fairlady 00 and the Corvette Stingray, number 76 and number 2 on the respective vehicles. Here, number 2 on the near side, that Fairlady. And this Fairlady fares a little better and just misses out, getting past that transition piece. That is as close as you can get and still come up just short. Almost lodged himself in the plastic there to avoid getting wet, but look at him just barely slide down and fall into the water. That was at least a close race. But the Fairlady fared better, but not good enough. We'll lose this race out for the Corvette. Nissan Skyline and the Corvette. This Nissan Skyline is a GTR, a different model. How will he fare against the Corvette? Looks to be an even heat so far through the first couple curves, but the Corvette slows down and he falls into the water. Out of that second curve, the Nissan Skyline got a miraculous burst of speed. He was actually behind at the instantaneous point of leaving that second 180, but turned around and bursted out of that piece of track with absolutely incredible speeds. Immediately took over the lead by a full car length and put the Corvette right to the bottom, and that will be a couple of Nissans now getting out into the next round. Nissan Skyline and the Corvette C7, again a GTR for the Nissan, maybe a better model that's going to be able to push through in a faster pace against these Corvettes. Corvette again falling behind by a half car length, and he'll flip through many pieces of plastic right there as he does some acrobatics that just land him in the edge of the pool near the finish line, and we have another Skyline racing his way towards the next round. He will turn a little bit there, but crosses with a lot of speed. Now we'll leave 4 Nissans and 4 Corvettes. Corvettes started strong, Nissans came back with a fury in the last few races, and we head to the next round with an even team heat. Corvette Stingray and the Nissan Skyline GTR here on the near side. He was fast in the first race, now falling behind, but how is he going to look out of that 180 turn? A little slow, and he's not going to be able to dig his way out of that track piece that angles down as the trap is tripped. And he can't climb back out of it, and he'll be wet, and he will not be moving to the semifinals. So close, though. So close. And the Corvette will cross backwards with a lack of control, but it's still a win. Corvette C7 and the Nissan 300ZX. We saw this Nissan way back at the beginning pulling off a good performance. He's out into a short lead, and can he maintain it? He can, but the Corvette is going to really give him a run for his money as he boosts right off of that trap that was set. It almost took the lead and avoided the water. Look at that. That is some amazing movement on that vehicle. The problem is, it was not good enough to avoid the gap right below him, and the Corvette with less speed out of that piece, but without having to deal with incredible traps, will make it right to the end. Corvette C7 and the Nissan Skyline, not a GTR model. A little bit faster the GTR seemed to be, but the Skyline is faring pretty well as he heads through the first couple curves here, and now he's going to be the winner of this race. Both traps were tripped there. As you can see, both flags angled downwards, but the Nissan just squibbed through, and he will have a joyride for the back half here. He spins a little bit there, but I mean, spin here and there is no problem if you end up winning and if you end up staying dry. Now we got the Stingray and the Nissan Skyline GTR, the gray model that we saw before. And the Stingray out to a big lead. Here's the 180s. And the Stingray has a few track length lead, and that's how it's going to end. The GTR is going to drop right into the pool there. Tires going upwards. And another Corvette getting towards the semifinals. Semifinals we go. 2 Nissans, 2 Corvettes. Pretty close team battle here, and it's just going to heat up here in the semifinals. We got a Nissan Skyline and a Corvette Stingray. We saw both Stingrays are the ones here in the semifinals, and they're both very fast racers. But this Stingray off to a difficult start. He's behind. The Skyline is fast, and a little bit of wobble there through the piece, but he will drop the golden Stingray right into the water where most Stingrays belong. And he can join the Shark and his marine friends down there in the pool. Skyline finishing backwards, but finishing with marginal speed. And now we got the Nissan 300ZX and the Corvette, the blue one. He's on the near side here, and he's out to a short lead by a little bit, and the Nissan cannot catch up, and he can't avoid that drop into the water either. He'll hit a bunch of vehicles on the way down. Well, that's going to be the end for that Nissan 300. Corvette, shiny blue car, whipping around that 180. Going a little sideways there, but easily able to straighten out with the help of the railing on the side. And well, we got ourselves a final race here between a Nissan and a Corvette. It's good to see 2 team battles coming to this very climactic point. A Nissan on the near side, a Corvette on the far side. Corvette, the faster car at first here, but the Nissan giving him a good run for his money and almost beat him out to the traps by a half of an inch, I would say, just behind. Look at him gaining speed as they approached that transition trap piece. And he almost overtook the Corvette, who seemed to get a little lazy towards the ends of that first sector. Roll across, and now the Nissan will have to work from behind here as he's down a race and wet, but it seems to be a close race out of the get. Corvette here seems to be out in front, and there's a wider gap indeed, and it seems like the wet tires were not an advantage for the Nissan, and the Corvette's going to easily coast across that, taking the second race as long as he can finish it out here with no mistakes. And look at that speed. He will not have any mistakes at all. Almost burying himself under that finish line. And there you have it, the Corvette, Team Corvette. The next two teams of racers have arrived at the deadly Pool Shark track. We've seen many a team traverse these tracks and many a team fall to the bottom of that deadly pool. Camaros, Corvettes, Dodge, and Mustangs, 4 teams today, going up against each other, 1v1 racing as usual. We have the Dodges and the Mustangs, 2 teams to get things started here, the Shelby and the Challenger. 2 cars we have seen race before. And they're already going to get started here, and the Shelby's just way out in front. Look at that, already a few car lengths, not even through the 180s, and you know who wins this race. Shelby, an easy win right there, drops the Challenger right into the pool. And things have begun here at Races and Fun. Hello everybody, I'm Brendan, bringing you coverage of today's race. Shelby will make it through that transition piece, whip around that 180, and actually skid to a stop. What will happen there? Very fast, but out of control, and I think he'll still get the win for that, but that just doesn't look good right there. No obstacles and couldn't even finish. Mustang and the Charger here, yellow and black. Mustang on the near side, already off to a slow start. Looks like he's crawling around the track right now. He might not even make it out of that second curve. I don't even see him. Challenger flips the trap, and there the Mustang finally falls right into it. He might have been better off just staying behind. At least he would have avoided getting wet, but the Shark is hungry, and bright yellow objects is exactly what he wants to feast on right now. Challenger will jet down into the final 180 and whip around, crossing the line, winning the race, taking a point for his team. Mustang GT and the Charger, a more even race so far this time. The Charger on this near side. The GT has the lead by a car length, flips the trap, and there you go. He bobbles through that transition piece, unfortunately for him, but it's not going to matter, as he will still command that lead, drops his opponent into the water, and now it's just a joyride. Across, and we'll be happy. Mustang GT and the Demon. This Demon, very bright in color for a Demon, I will say. Let's see if he's a speed Demon. He looks to be a little behind, and there's a few car lengths of gap right there, and that's going to bring him right to the bottom of the water. The proverbial pit of hell here in today's race. Beautiful red car, black stripes on top, and barely getting across as he does. Almost came to a dead stop, turning around 90 degrees there, but straightened himself out just in time. Mustang and the drift car, white and red here. Drift car on the near side, the red car with the spoiler. He looks to be into the lead. How will the two 180s treat him? Very well, and there he trips that trap through the transition piece. He 180s. What he does, drop his opponent right in there. And that beautiful white car body, all wet. Unfortunate. There's a little spin there for show, I guess, but he's not fast right now. He may not cross the line. He will. Just barely. There we go. Here's a Mustang and another Demon. This one yellow. And this Demon has the speed out of the gate. 3 car lengths ahead as he heads to the first turn. Mustang struggling to even keep any momentum on the track, and he's going to fall right into that trap right there. A delay of about 3 seconds. And when the Demon crossed over that middle piece. And the Demon will round the 180 and easily take this race. Mustang and the Charger RT, yellow and black kind of teal design on the RT. And he flips around, but he is behind. He was out in front for a second, but lost it all in the 180s. And the RT will not be able to convert any victory here. Dies right at the bridge, flips vertical, dives into the water, and we have a backwards finish, the first one of the day. And he comes across no problem. We have a Mustang in the drift car. This Mustang, a teal design. Drift car off to a very slight lead through the first straight. Now the two 180s, and the drift car continues to drift ahead and drops the Mustang right in there. A beautiful car, but now a wet car. And the drift car will be able to traverse the rest of the track easily. We have not yet had two cars get past that bridge on the same race. And we're split evenly 4-4, Dodges and Mustangs. And here we go, Charger and Mustang. That black Charger from earlier. And now he has a more difficult challenger, this yellow Mustang who just won a race not too many competitions ago, but here he comes up just short. He flips through the track piece right there. Look how close that was. It looked like he had it, or at least was going to be able to give the Charger a run for his money in the last bit of track, but no, he just dies right there on the lip or something. Didn't even drop into the water, just stopped right there and decided he was done racing. Well, we got the Challenger and the Mustang GT. Let's see if they fare any better. Looks to be a close race out of the gate. It's going to be how these 180s are, though. We've seen gaps develop with the 180s, and there yet another one does, but both cars will get across. I think the Mustang avoided the trap, and it wasn't even set for him. It looks like the red car set it for himself, and that yellow Mustang is behind, but if there's a mistake, he could win, but he will not. He will ram into the other car there. That's not good sportsmanship, but I'm not going to say anything about it. Drift car, and I believe that is the Shelby who we saw really dominate in the first race. Just hell of a lot of speed out there, and he's got the lead now by a little bit, and he just misses out, dropping the drift car into the water. It was so close. The drift car just flies in the air, goes airborne about 3 inches, and that's going to be good enough to lead them both to the second half. Closest race we've seen so far to the final finish line. Looks like the drift car had a tough angle going down, though. He's backward, he's around that 180, but he's not able to do anything about that. The hairpin turn was tough on him, and the Shelby will cross, but barely. Drift car and the Mustang GT. This drift car with a little bit of a white design on its body. The Mustang on the near side here, off to a slower start. These 180s were good to him, though. He catches up a little bit, but he can't make up any more ground. Just a little bit off as we head to the bridge. And it will be the drift car to come away dry into the second half of this track. It'll cross backwards and very wobbly, but a win is a win. Dodge 2, Ford 2, here we go. Narrowed it down very evenly here. The semifinals are at hand. Shelby, drift car. We've seen the Shelby win now 2 races. Dominance out there on the field and out into a lead already in this third race of his. Drift car trying to keep up, can't keep up, and will fall into the water. Teetered on the edge there just past the trap, but gravity did what gravity always will do and pushed him right down there into the water amongst the sharks and the other unfortunate racer. Shelby, again, going sideways. That's the second time today the Shelby has not finished a race after securing the win, and that's just, I don't know if it's embarrassing or just bad etiquette. Mustang GT and the Charger. Charger on the near side, that jet black car. Again, the real big challenger here. He's again out into the lead. Oh, full car length, trips the trap and knocks the GT right off the side of the bridge. The trap didn't even really see any of the GT, just kind of sideways flipped there, right into the mechanism, and the Charger will go sideways but turn around and just able to cross. And at least he's able to do a little bit better than the Shelby on that account, and now the finals are up. First to win 2 races as usual, and I believe the Shelby and the Charger are the 2 to go out it. Here we go. GT on the near side, Charger on the far. Charger behind by a little bit, not by much though, but it's not enough. And the Charger will flip over, drop into the water, and hit the plastic right there on the way down. That's not very good. It's got to be some extra damage right there, and the Charger will have to dig himself out of the 5-inch deep water and take another crack at it here. That's another time that Shelby did not finish, almost. just comes across. It looks like some bit of rock turned him around, but he almost went sideways again. We've changed lanes. Charger, you can see, is not doing well in this race. Must be the wet tires from before, and that will do it for the Charger. The Mustangs will bring the car downward here, around that hairpin, and it looks like Team Ford is the winner today. There you have it. Ford Shelby taking the win. We've seen dominant racing from both Team Camaros and Team Corvettes. Well, what will happen when you put them up against each other? Today we will find out. Camaros, Corvettes facing off. Corvette C7, Camaro SS to get things going, and this is that same track with the deadly shark pool halfway through, and that will be a win early on. Yellow car dropping in, tires up, and I believe that's Corvettes whipping around to take this one. Two very skilled teams. We've seen them win before. Corvette C7, the Camaro SS. Camaro on the near side. So it will be a battle between teams that are both very good on these tracks. That will be the Camaro SS. Way out in front there. A good few car lengths. No trouble turning that one into a win, but trouble on his own through the back half of the course. He will cross backwards and very slowly. So a 20 Corvette and a 70 Camaro. Again, it's going to be good to see these two go up against each other. And I think this race will also be pretty differentiated in the gap between the two cars. Look at that, a good 5 car length separation by the time the first car hit that transition piece. And we'll see how this has been going. I believe that's a Corvette this time crossing. See how lopsided it's been either way so far. Corvette C7 and the Camaro ZL1. Corvette, the white car on the far side, Camaro on the near. Camaro looks to not be getting off well into this race. Look at that, 3 car lengths. Corvette bobbles in the transition piece, but just able to pull out. And I thought there would have been a change of leader right there, but Corvette hung on just past the trap and was able to avoid the water and end smoothly. Stingray and the Camaro. Stingray on the Corvette team. And will he be as fast as a Stingray through this one? Looks like the Camaro has the lead. How about the 2 180s? And there you go. Camaro bobbles through the transition and they both get past. What a mistake right there. He flips the trap on the wrong side. Ends up on the side of the Stingray, and now they're both going to go for it here in the back half. Stingray way behind, though. Camaro, even with all the commotion, is still going to stay in front. Finishes backwards, but finishes first. And they'll move on. Stingray and another Camaro. Definitely a odd way to end that race, but anything can happen here at Races and Fun. And both of them crossed right there. No trap flip. Something must have been wrong with the mechanics, and this will be one of the closest races to the finish line we've seen so far. They're even through the first 180, but then the Stingray falls behind, and it will be the Camaro. And we got a Corvette and a Camaro here, green and red. And I'm just going to dash right into the next one. Corvette, the large green car, large-bodied car. Oh my God, what happened there? Corvette had it all going on. Flips the trap, and somehow, in an excellent acrobatic move, the Camaro avoids the trap, goes airborne. A magician out there somehow floated over what seemed to be certain wet, at least. And the Camaro just deadens right there, turns 90 degrees, and can't get any momentum. Corvette, Camaro, yellow and blue. And honestly, I don't know what to say about that particular time. That's definitely one of the weirdest things we've seen out here in Races and Fun. Another bobble through the transition piece. And I believe that will be the Corvette to head on to the end. It has just been a tough road for both of these teams so far. And making it through that transition piece cleanly and safely even Those flips are definitely going to do a number on some of the cars. Corvette 4, Camaro 4, even through the first round, even with all that crazy commotion and acrobatics. Camaro on the left here, Corvette on the right. And Camaro will be that red car on the near side, getting off to a slow start. Corvette, one of the faster ones on the team, flips that trap, and he'll be backwards, but he'll be safe from elimination here. The back half of the lap coming up. Spoiler backwards. It's definitely not how you want to do it, but good thing there's no other car to challenge him out here on the track. He will turn around and, well, not quite. And he's going to be left a good couple of lengths shy of the finish line, and, well, he wins, but that doesn't look good. Camaro, Corvette. Black and yellow. Yellow here on the near side. Slow start, but seems to have gained back that lead, actually. Corvette only 1 length behind. No acrobatics there, though, and the Camaro will finish, well, to say as much as intended in this particular race. Definitely some crazy movements out there today, but this particular Camaro wants to keep things under control and does there. Finishes backwards, but again, still finishes. Camaro ZL and the Corvette C7. The ZL on the far side, C7 on the near side. White Corvette with a toll spoiler up above in the back. Flips the trap and sends the Camaro right down into the water. Tires up to meet the shark. Knocks into one of the other cars resting down there, and the Corvette has no problem getting across the line. Well, I don't know if I'd say no problem, but still gets across. Camaro ZL and the 20 Corvette. Camaro dropping back a little bit through the first straight. Here's the 180s. And now the ZL is really in trouble, but somehow the wrong trap is tripped, and it's going to be a race here in the back half. I don't know what's going on with the mechanics today. Maybe the cars are just so fast and acrobatic that they can avoid the trap or just trip it the wrong way, but I mean, it is no matter. The Camaro will lose this one. And that leaves 3 Corvettes and 1 Camaro here into the semifinals. 1 Camaro hanging on. The question is, can he hang on through the semifinals and even into the finals? We'll find out right now as we have that same Camaro racing in this heat. And they are neck and neck through the first 180. Second 180, it is the Corvette in front. He flips the trap and he almost doesn't get through himself, but just barely nudges on towards the second half. That transition piece troublesome, but he pushes through. Camaro will lose this race, and unfortunately, it will be Corvettes from here on out. Corvette C7 and the 20 Corvette. And you see the 20 Corvette already way out in front. I mean, it looks like the white spoilered Corvette here is not even trying, and, well, there he goes into the water. Upside down and backwards. And that blue Corvette will coast down, take the 180, end up backwards for some reason. I don't really know what he's thinking there, but well, maybe his show button a little bit. We head to the finals. 2 Corvettes to go. Remember, it is the best 2 out of 3 races. And it will be the Corvette C7 versus the 20 Corvette. Both different shades of blue. You can distinguish them by the one having the spoiler on the back. And that particular car is not doing well so far, but the transition piece, again, mechanisms not working as they are expected to, and that gives the Corvette with the spoiler a chance. Now he's going forward on the right side, but not good enough to cross the line in front. Down by a car length, and that's going to leave him down 1 race here into the second heat, and it looks like this Corvette with the spoiler is going to be a lot more fortunate in the second race of this finals. Crosses pretty easily, and actually still no cars in the water. The Corvette 20 left up there slowly getting out of that transition piece, but both of these cars very skilled in their agility, being able to dodge that trap. They change lanes for the final time. This is it. Whoever wins this takes home the finals today. Corvette team has already won, but both cars will be heading past the transition piece to the final hairpin and straight to decide this one. It will come down to the wire here, and now we get the vantage point from the other side. Looks like the 20 Corvette is way too slow off the dismount of that hill. And the Corvette with the spoiler, I believe it might be the C7, will easily win that one. The question is the 20 Corvette even going to cross the line? No, by a couple of feet. He's just going to fall short. A couple of car lengths might be the better way to describe it. But no matter. We have our winner. This racing, Corvettes will be facing off against the one and the only Mustangs. And they'll get going already, and as they do get going, Corvette C7 and the 18 Mustang, let me remind you to check out the Races and Fun Spanish channel. They will be doing the commentary in Spanish, the same content, but a different language experience. Corvettes will take that first one here by a good few car lengths. And the commentator over there, I heard, is very good too. And even if you don't speak Spanish, just to support the channel, just to show your love for Races and Fun, go drop a sub and help that new channel grow. Corvette and Mustang, here we go. Corvette, wow, 2 lengths ahead. We head to the first 180, and I think this one's over already before it even gets started. I mean, look at that. I mean, what can you do? And you're leaving me with nothing to say, to be honest. That is a very easy victory for the Corvette. And they barely descended the first hill, and we already knew the answer to that race. Corvette C7 and the 65 Mustang, yellow and white here. Hopefully a closer race between the two. Looks to be so. Corvette on the near side, getting good speed, and now 2 car lengths out ahead. They flipped to both tracks. And only one will be utilized as the Mustang falls. Tires up, but tires a little bit too slow. And the Corvette will whip around that 180 and nudge his way to the finish. 64 Stingray and the 65 Mustang. We've seen that light blue car in previous races do very well on this track. How did he do this time? Well, both cars do very well crossing that transition piece. The problem is the Stingray has absolutely no momentum left. And that's going to leave the Mustang to take this one even with that lack of speed through the transition piece. He is backwards too, so that presents a little bit of the problem, but it seems like cars of this skill level can race frontwards, backwards, anyways, but upside down and or 90 degrees. And Stingray just kind of parallel parks himself right there, right past the shark traps. Corvette here as well as a Mustang. Corvette, that blue Corvette on the far side we saw do pretty well in the previous video. And again, by a car length, drops the Mustang into the water. This one will be tires up. So a little more discomfort along with all the water he will be loading himself up on as they sit down there. Stingray and the Ford GT. Ford GT on the near side went through a little bump there. It looks like he's fallen behind because of that bump, but he's racing back to get in front of the Stingray, but no luck. He drops into the shark pool. And the Stingray just kept it straight and consistent the whole way through the first sector, and he will cross nice and even right there. Corvette C7 and the Shelby Snake. Shelby Snake, another notable racer. We've seen him be very dominant out here on the track. I believe he won the last tournament we looked at, and again, very good out there. That's going to be a car to look out for as we head towards the end of these finals into the later rounds. Very agile on the track, and speed is definitely no concern for him either. Corvette C7 again in the Ford GT. This is kind of like the second string Shelby Snake, to be honest. A good racer, but it's hard to really match up to the Snake. Ford GT, though, looking good through this race. Acrobatics upside down and backwards. But with all those superlatives, not a water drop on the Ford GT, or even close. And there you go, Ford GT backwards, but safe. And moving on to the next round. And pretty good backwards driving, if you ask me. And now we got 3 Mustangs and 5 Corvettes left, but the 3 Mustangs remaining are 3 of the best shark pit racers we've seen throughout the last few months. So it's going to be a tough one for these Corvettes. This green Corvette, very dominant in the first race. How will he do against the Shelby Snake? Actually looking really good through the first couple of turns, but Shelby Snake turns it around as they 360 towards the shark pit. And that giant, vertically voluptuous green Corvette is just gonna drop into the water, make a big splash, but Shelby Snake will take that one. Mustang and Stingray. How will this Mustang do? He flies under the radar a little bit, but still a very good racer. Not here, though. Stingray was able to take the lead, but both cars going to be going to the back half, and actually the Stingray trips his own trap and has to go airborne, losing that horizontal momentum, and that's going to be really tough here for the Stingray to recover. He's going down backwards and already losing ground. Will the Mustang make a mistake, though? Doesn't look like it. Look at him going straight, bouncing off the rail and straightening out as he crosses the line. And the Stingray, who had the advantage, will immediately give it up there and not take this race. Ford GT and the Corvette. And a close race out of the gate. Looks like the Corvette is struggling through the first couple of turns, though, and, well, I think you can see what the result was there. Corvette not even close as they head into the shark pit area. And the Ford GT turn around a bunch of times and fly through the finish line at a slow pace. Corvette C7 and the Corvette 20. Remember, we have more Corvettes out on the track right now as compared to Mustangs, so two Corvettes have to go up against each other, and as you might expect, the 20 is going to win, but I can't believe what I'm seeing right here. You couldn't make that up. Latches himself to the side of the plastic, really must not want to get those tires wet. I can't even imagine a situation where that's possible, but there it is right in front of my eyes right now. Defying gravity. I don't even know. Or something on the car is latching on there. I mean, we're going to get a camera angle. Really interesting. And yeah, the window seems to be just hanging on. And that's a way to do it. Loses, but is still dry. And, well, we'll go to the semifinals, and unfortunately, that impressive, agile move does not win you any points here at the Shark Pit race, and things will continue into the semifinals, and it looks like the Corvette easily is going to have that one. Mustang, no luck on latching himself to the side of the transition piece, and he will dive into the water. Looks like he tried to a little bit there, tried to catch a tire on the edge of the flagpole or something like that, but I mean, those are once-in-a-lifetime opportunities, honestly. Ford GT and the Shelby Snake. Good to see these two go up against each other, both very strong racers. My money is on the Shelby Snake, but it's hard to say. Well, look at that, Ford GT. Not as fast as I thought, 2 car lengths behind in the Shark Pit area, and the Shelby Snake is a ruthless racer. Not going to waste any time dropping him into the Shark Pit. Mechanics work perfectly there on the trap, and Shelby Snake will coast across, and as you might have expected from the beginning, you'll see him in the finals going up against Corvette's best racer, which so happens to be the Corvette 20. Blue and black. Here to decide things in the finals for this video and the finals for the Shark Pit race in general. Shelby Snake slow out of the second turn, and we might have an upset in store for you today. Look at that, Shelby Snake falling in. Couple car lengths behind, and that doesn't spell good for him. Now he has to race wet in the next of these best 2 out of 3 races. And so the Corvette has the advantage. Shelby Snake not happy about that, but slow out of the gate by a little bit. Bobbles a little bit in that track piece there, and the trap is dropped, and it is not the Shelby Snake to take the overall win today. The Corvette 20, one of the standout racers from the Corvette team, is easily able to deal with him once and turn around and do it right again. Finishing backwards, but finishing in style. And, well, there you have it. Corvettes, the overall winners in the Shark Pit Racing, with the Corvette 20 being the MVP of that team. Don't forget to check out the Spanish channel, Carreras, Extremas, Diecast. Drop a sub, and we'll see you in the next Races and Fun video.
Vamos ya a la primera contienda, Corvette amarillo, el gran nacional de color oscuro, van en la recta, doblan a la derecha, patina el Corvette, le saca una ventaja al nacional, dobla otra vez a la derecha, van a la bajada del tobogán, vienen, se tiran a la bajada, pasan por arriba, el coco gira, se queda el nacional, se queda, atención, viene el Corvette, salta, perfecto, pega, no golpea.